Okay everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're back with another track guide for Gran Turismo 7 for the current daily race C, and this is possibly one of the most important track guides you might want to listen to, because you need to get your qualifying time as high and as fast up that leaderboard as you can, because this track has severe turbulent air, so you're going to struggle unless you can qualify quite high up on that grid. So if you are interested in these videos, they help you out, get subscribed to the channel. We're currently pushing for 50,000 subscribers. Would be amazing if we could get that in the next 7 days. So get subscribed, hit that like button, and let me know in the comment section if this helped you out. I do like reading them comments. I always go through them, see if people have gained time from them, because it's really good feedback, you know, where it's helped you out, what's helped you out. So let me know in the comment section. And yeah, we're going to try and help you get as fast as we can around this quite enjoyable track to drive, but in race conditions it is not quite so enjoyable. But yeah, for qualifying, this is a fun combination, I have to say. It's definitely a time trialing combination, so I'm sure a lot of you can get some quite good time trials, lap times done for this combination. So obviously for this lap we're using the Nissan GTR 2016 model, and we're on racing soft tyres for the time trial. Now you are going to use them in the race as well. 6-6 divide is the best way to do this. But going into turn 1, you're going to be looking for the 100 board and the 50 board, and that in between there, you can see that little marker there. I use that as a reference. Now I'm going to brake a little bit past that, just past that, onto the brakes in between the 150, and that is a really good reference to use in there. Now you want to get this car turned in to this apex quite sharply, and you want to get that left hand tyre to almost over the blue line and get onto the curb on the left hand side, because what this will do is it'll help rotate the car. You can see P1 in the world onto that curb, and then on the throttle as early as you can. Now midway through the corner we're going to upshift to third gear early there, you can see, to carry more momentum on the exit. And now we're going to be looking for our next braking reference, which we're going to use the 50 board on the left hand side. You can see it there. Now you're braking almost dead on line with that. As we approach that, you're going to see we're going to get on the brakes pretty much right next to it. You can see that white bit on the track there, that's where the 50 board is. We're braking pretty much on that, and you want to get this car over to the right side. Now you want to take some of this corner off, but you can see I have actually done my best first sectors when I only get the right hand tyre on the curb there. I hit that a bit too aggressively, that upsets the car a little bit. And now on the exit you need to make sure your right hand tyre stays to the right hand side of that white line. If you go over it, you get a penalty, so bear that in mind. You can see that upsetting of the car just loses you a little bit of time, and we go through this first sector on a 0.8 I think, and now I have done this over a tenth quicker on that first sector. Now looking for our next braking reference, we're using the 50 at the start of the curb there. That's pretty much where I'm braking, right at the start of the curb onto the brakes. Now you're going to brake quite aggressively. I turn in quite early for this. You can see that the better line is probably to go a little bit wider and rotate the car in and get better exit speed. But I knew I had to slow the car down quite quick, so I was turning at the same time to help with rotation. Down to first gear for that extra bit of rotation. Back up to second gear for the smoother entry. And you can see we didn't lose that much through that corner, even though we did lose a little bit on the exit. And now we're working our way down in possibly the most important corner on this track. This is where you're going to gain so much time. So as we come through here, you want to get your right hand tyre onto that curb on the right side. So you're attacking this curb for the entry into the next part. Just before we get to this curb, you're going to start getting on the brakes. You can see right hand tyre almost on the curb. Now we're onto the brakes, and we're not going to be aggressive on the brakes. We're about 70% there. And then as we hit this curb, you're going to flick it back to the right as you go to fourth gear. I go up to fourth gear as we come off this curb and on the power. And what this does, this fourth gear change, it stabilizes the car, keeps the revs nice, and you can keep on the throttle all the way on the exit. And I absolutely nailed that on that run. You can see I'm actually gaining on the top time going up the hill there. I've actually took more speed than the fastest in the world through there. So did that quite nice. And now we're going to be attacking this corner. Now I use that little bit of darker tarmac on the curb as a reference where you're chucking it in, and you want to get this right hand tyre onto this curb, keeping it as close to this curb all the way through. You don't brake, no braking through this corner, it's completely flat out. Keep your right hand tyre as close to that curb as possible, and just keep the speed all the way through the corner. You do not need to lift for that corner if you get it right. Now we're working our way. This is completely flat out. Again, no lifting through it. It's just about skimming the curb, right hand tyre on the curb, left hand tyre on the curb. No need to brake at all the way through there. Now we're looking for the 50 board. We're going to brake just past that 50 board, and we're on the brakes just as we come off the curb here. Now you want to take kind of a wide line through here. So you're going quite wide, let the car slow down, and then onto the throttle and try and get into fifth gear and skim this curb. Because if you can get that right, your right hand tyre will get onto that curb and kind of latch onto it a little bit as you get in fifth gear, and you can carry the speed all the way through the corner. I don't do that perfect, but I managed to stay in fifth gear with flat throttle all the way through. Lost about, I reckon, half a tenth to a tenth on that final corner there. So overall, not the perfect lap, but we go over line 1 minute 19.9, and there's a lot of time to find there. I think I could get down to a 19.6 if I push that a little bit more. Let's watch that lap again from the chase camera, and I'm going to show you how it upsets the car and what we were talking about in this first sector where we lost a bit of time. But yeah, you can see the different lines I take and reasons we do things. So turn 1, early upshift to 3rd gear, use the curb on the exit, and then this corner you can see I took a little bit too much curb on the right side. It unsettles the car, so you see that unsettles it a bit. We go a little bit wide and we lose about a 1/10 there. Not a massive amount, but a 1/10 is a 1/10. Now this corner we turn in very early for this one, using 1st gear to rotate it. We actually got that rotation quite nice. You can see I got away with turning the car in quite early. The best way to do it probably is a little bit later on the apex, but got away with the approach that I did there. And through here, absolutely nailed this. You can see in full speed just how pretty much perfect that was. I've got to say, I don't think I could do that as well as that. Again, I did that really well. And then up into this right hand corner again, completely flat out. Use the width of the car, use the track onto the curb, chuck it in, right hand tire on the curb, helps bite it in. You can see how the curb gives you a little bit more grip on the inside. That just helps the rotation, and it means you do not need to lift through there. And then completely flat out all the way through here. You can see there's no need to lift on this section. It's just 100% throttle. And then we go past that 50 board on the left hand side, take that wide line, and again you can see trying to get that car onto the curb because it just gives you that little bit of grip on the inside when you're trying to get that rotation, and then all the way over to the finishing line for a 1 minute 19.9 and a pretty solid lap. Like I say, I think we can get a 19.6 if I really wanted to push that, but I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Don't think I'm going to be doing too many daily races there this week. The dirty air is just too much turbulent air. Gran Turismo really need to fix it, I think, to make it a little bit more enjoyable to race these combinations. But yeah, that's a guide. Hopefully it'll help you out. Let me know in the comment section if it does, and I'll see you for more of these videos in the future. Thanks again, everyone.